Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at a marbles knife, and this is one from their exhibition grade series. So we'll take a look at the packaging together, and you can see for some reason it is this ginormous box. You can see we have the marbles logo on the back there in this sort of hunting scene with like a wood effect on the box as well. You can see we have exhibition grade down here with some scroll work underneath. On the very front of the box you can see collector's edition pocket knives. Plain on this side, and then of course the barcode of where I bought it from, which is Heine Haynes. And on the back you can see their slogan, for every hour in the open, and then a clock featuring about 7 AM on there as well. And on the base of the packaging you can see again we got marbles, their slogan again, their website information, the cancer and reproductive harm, the moose, and then we can see the model number here, which is MR681, and that is the Barlow. So a really nice presentation on the box. Does it need to be this big? Probably not. They could have got away with doing it in half, sort of like a Rough Rider box, but I understand the presentation. It's a really nice solid box. And the presentation continues on the inside, so you can see we have marbles exhibition grade in there with that same sort of scene you'd see on the front of the box, and this nice felt line as well with a cutout for the knife. Just take the knife out a second, you can see that cutout in there. Lid closes nice and flush, very secure. I don't think it is actually like any sort of wood. I think it's just a really tough cardboard with like a design over the top. You can see there's no joins or anything, it's just a design. But nevertheless, really nice sturdy box from them. And here it is. This is the exhibition grade Barlow from Marbles. And we're looking at a full closed length of 1, 2, 3, pretty much bang on that 3.5, sort of a standard pretty size for any sort of Barlow, that 3.5 inches. You can see we have that gun stock sort of jigging on there, or the gun grip jigging, really nicely done. And I love that they've done this smooth bit of bone in the middle as well, really does sort of make that handle pop. You can see we have the nickel silver pins, and then a bullet shield in there with marbles engraved in there. Quite hard to see, it's quite a small shield, but I do like the size of it. It does sort of fit the knife better rather than having a huge shield on a tiny knife. Transitions all smooth, can't feel anything apart from the texture change. Pins, can't feel those at all on this side of the knife. All you can really feel is the change from the bone into the nickel silver bolster, and those two lines, and as well we have the pinched end as well. Construction on this, pretty happy with that. Can't really see any major gaps, maybe the smallest of ones, just a little bit here and maybe a tiny bit here, but it's all flush, there's no stepping at all. It's all hafted absolutely beautifully, there's no sharp corners. You can't catch yourself on the tangs of the knife, they've all been rounded over really nice. Blade centering, the pen blade pretty much perfect. The clip point blade slightly leaning to the show side. Not worried about any sort of blade rubbers. Of course, there is that brass liner dividing the two blades. On the reverse of the knife then, same story as the front. Everything is flush. You have that wonderful brown jigged bone on there as well. All the pins are flush. Transitions are perfect. And as I said on the front, you can only really feel the texture change from the bone into the nickel silver. And of course, you have that double lined and pinched bolster as well. And of course, it being a Barlow, sort of a standard thing for a Barlow would be to have a bolster that's about 1/3 the length of the knife. So we're looking at it's pretty much there. So this is the traditional Barlow pattern, of course, with the two blades. You can see we have the stainless steel back springs on there with the brass liners. And one thing I do like they've done on this, the older Rough Rider and Marbles knives used to have the clip point blade at the back and the pen blade at the front, and both the nail nicks on the same side. And what they've done with this is move the clip point blade to the front and the pen blade to the back, and they've alternated the nail nicks, so you haven't got to worry about trying to get your nail in to open that clip point blade when it's hidden behind the pen blade. They've sort of eradicated that whole sort of issue. So we'll take a look at the blades. You can see we have a clip point blade with the Marbles etch on there. It says Marbles Quality Knives. The Marbles tang stamp there, nice and simple, just their sort of text logo. We have a match strike nail pull on there as well, or match strike long pull I should say, with some swedging on the top there on the front, and the edge on this is pretty much perfect, maybe a little bit shallow here, but pretty much uniform. I'm really happy with how they've done that. And then the same story on the back, a little bit shallow towards the tip here, but it's really sort of uniform, and I'm happy they've done a great job with sharpening that knife. Take a look at the model number there, which is MR681, and it's got China, so this is obviously made in China. Blade steel as well is 440A, and as you can tell, this has a half stop. Really nice action on this clip blade. I'd say we're getting to about a 7 pull on this, between a 6.5 and a 7, and a really nice affirmative snap into the open position. So that clip point blade, then we are looking at tip to tang of 1 to 2 3/4 inches, and then a cutting edge of just shy of 2.5, so say about 2.4. So one that's going to be a very UK friendly knife, a very world friendly knife. Of course, it's that under 3-inch limit. It's a non-locking knife. It's a traditional pattern, and I mean, who doesn't love a Barlow? Everybody loves a Barlow. So again, half stop, really nice walk and talk on that. Take a look at the pen blade now, and of course that has a half stop as well. No tang stamp on this either side, just a nice clean plain blade. We have the matte strike nail nick on there, and the grind slightly heavier than on the clip blade, but very uniform all the way across, and came really sharp out of the box too. Again, we have the mirror finished 440A steel with some swedging on either side, and of course that matte strike nail nick too. Really nice action on that pen blade. Bit lazy into the half stop, I will say. It's not real like any snap, but it's got plenty of snap on the open and the close. I'd say that's about a 7, and a real affirmative lock up on that. I've got no trouble about that closing on me. I know I can get whatever task I need to do with that blade without any sort of worries at all. So that tip to tang blade length of that pen blade, then we're looking at pretty much bang on that 2-inch mark, and then the cutting edge we're looking at just over 1.5, so 1 3/4 inches. So again, nothing that makes this knife not UK legal or world friendly. A really well done Barlow from Marbles. I'm really enjoying this series. I did review the Sowbelly Whittler a couple of weeks ago. I'll put a link to that up there. It's a really great knife as well. Exactly the same jig bone. They've just done a fantastic job with this. Really loving this series. At the moment, it's between this series and the Black Appaloosa bone by Rough Rider. They're both knocking it out of the park. But there we go, guys. That's my sort of review and overview of the Marbles exhibition grade Barlow. And I'll give you that model number again one more time. We are looking at MR684, and that's the Marbles exhibition bone Barlow. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring those bell for notifications. I hope to catch you here again. Peace out.